Corruption, economic and financial crimes are the biggest problems in the world. No wonder former Italian President Sergio Mattarella pointed out that corruption has reached an unacceptable level. It devours resources that could be devoted to the citizens. It impedes the proper carrying out of market rules and penalizes the honest and capable. It is our duty to bring it down to its barest minimum. Join the wagon in the fight against corruption. Welcome to another episode of The Eagle. My name is Aisha Mohammed. Thank you for joining us.
Hello there. The fight against corruption involves you and I. I will play my part and you will play yours. Join me, Abdulrashid Bawa, Executive Chairman, Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, on the Together Against Corruption Challenge, and lend your voice to the fight against economic and financial crimes always. Thank you.
There is an important legal principle that says ignorance of the law is no excuse. That's right. You can't defend your actions by arguing you didn't know they were illegal, even if you honestly did not know or realize you were breaking the law. That's why the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, uses every avenue to enlighten the public on the ills of financial crimes and how to help out in combating it. In this report, the Special Control Unit Against Money Laundering, SCOMO, has sought for improved collaboration between the Commission and self-regulatory organizations in the fight against money laundering and terrorism financing in Nigeria. Here are details of their engagement.
The Special Control Unit Against Money Laundering, SCOMO, of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has sought for improved collaboration between the Commission and self-regulatory organizations in the fight against money laundering and terrorism financing in Nigeria. Speaking during a 3-day CATSA visit to professional bodies, non-governmental organizations, and stakeholders in Lagos, the director of SCOMO, Daniel Isse, said the visit was key in creating awareness in the fight against money laundering and counter-terrorism financing in Nigeria. Isse, who said that the NGOs were susceptible to abuse and misuse, added that the cooperation of the self-regulatory bodies will ensure the success of the preventive measures to check the scourge of terrorism financing in Nigeria. The SCOMO boss commended efforts of the professional bodies in complying with some of the requirements of SCOMO in the aspects of registration and reporting. He therefore sought greater partnership and improved synergy in ensuring that due diligence is carried out on the organizations registered under the SROs and subsequently regulates the activities of these organizations. In her remarks, the president of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria, ICAN, Dame Onome Joy Adewuyi, expressed her gratitude over the visit and assured the Commission of the body's collaboration in tackling money laundering and terrorism financing. Adewuyi said the fight against money laundering is in the interest of everyone, as it will help to improve the country's rating at the international community. Also speaking, the president of the Nigerian Network of NGOs, Oyebisi Olusheyi, assured the gathering of the body's continued cooperation and support in ensuring that transparency is improved and there is a total compliance to the requirements of the law. Organizations visited by the head of SCOMO include the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria, ICAN, the Nigerian Network of NGOs, NNNGOs, Spaces for Changes Coalition, S4C, the Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria, CITN, the Association of Professional Bodies of Nigeria, APBN, and the Lagos State Lottery Board, LSLB.
The word reform is derived from Latin and means reshaping and changing a given situation in an organization. Reform changes the status quo in the organization and entails initiating, planning, designing, and implementing changes that aim to bridge performance gaps. This is why the EFCC chairman, in his bid to reform the EFCC to align with his vision of an agency operating to the best international standards and leading in the fight against economic and financial crimes in Nigeria, led staff of the commission to an oath taken. Here are the details.
As part of ongoing reform efforts to improve efficient delivery of its mandate, officials of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) took fresh official oaths, pledging, among others, to perform their duties diligently and honestly. The executive chairman, Abdul Rashid Bawa, led other categories of staff to take the oath in compliance with the Official Secret Act and the newly adopted document classification policy of the commission. The chairman, who wants a reformed EFCC built on core values of the commission, stressed the need for staff to be dedicated and faithful in carrying out their respectful duties. He stressed the need for officers of the commission to shun and expose corruption wherever it is being committed. Amina Kawa, reporting for The Eagle.
Internet fraud is a type of crime, fraud, or deception which makes use of the internet and could involve hiding of information or providing incorrect information for the purpose of tricking victims out of their money, property, and inheritance. The Eagle crew had a chit-chat with head cybercrime Abba Sambo on new trends in cybercrime.
Now, the issue of increment in the space of cybercrime in Nigeria has a lot to do with our social perception. Perception that if you make money anyhow, it is okay. Now, a lot of young people, instead of them to engage in legitimate activities to earn money, they find an easy way of making huge amount of money through cybercrime. And when the few that have made from the start cybercrime, when the few that have made money out of the cybercrime, the society show them some kind of respect. As a result of that, other young men saw what that crime could do to their image in the society. Hence, many of them tend to get engaged in the criminal activities. One of the issues surrounding this is that cybercrime is victimless because you don't get to see the victim suffer. As a result, it is seen as a form of expression of being smart. So a lot of the young men get into these activities when they make money because they don't get to see the victim. They don't see themselves as criminals. So because of that, they have been able to kind of rationalize that they are smart, they are just making money off people. But in reality, it is a crime and there are victims. And it is giving the country a very bad name in the international community.
What does the issue of lack of job these days have to do with the increment in the state of cybercrime in Nigeria?
Well, one of the excuses that the young men give is that there is lack of job. But in reality, it's not really lack of job. Because a lot of the suspects that we have arrested, when we interview them, they tell us that they are either tailors, that is people making tiles, or people engaged in some other meaningful trade or business. They just feel out of greed that cybercrime brings in more money. As such, they switch to the criminal activities. And unfortunately, there are a lot of other young men willing to mentor them to learn how to commit the crime and as well assist them in receiving the money. That is moving the money from the victim to them here in Nigeria. But in reality, it really has nothing to do with lack of job.
Okay, now, considering your experience in the fight against cybercrime so far, what set of people would you say are usually victims of cyber criminals?
Now, the victims of cybercrime, the reality is that anyone can fall victim. Any person can fall victim. It all depends upon the sophistication and the knowledge that the cyber criminal has. Now, even we that are in the field of combating cybercrime can fall victim to cybercrime. if an email is sent to me purporting to come from my director, and it comes exactly from an address that I know to be that of the director, the first thing I will do is to trust it. It is only upon a verification later that I may get to suspect. So the truth is that anybody can fall victim to cybercrime. What we can do is to ensure that we are careful. We take measures to ensure that whatever information we see on the internet, we take it with a pinch of salt. Whatever email that comes to us, we suspect until we confirm through an alternative means. If someone approaches us on social media, the first thing that should come to our mind is that we should suspect that this person is not who or what he or she is claiming to be, until we are really certain that that is the person. But the truth is that anybody can fall victim. Now, in the Western world, most of Nigerian cyber criminals target older people. They are the ones that have, to some degree, made it in life. And if you are talking about business email compromise, which targets companies, for someone to build a company into a certain stage, you find that the age of the person is a bit advanced, so they tend to target them. If it's romance scam, they tend to target some of these kind of people. If it's inheritance scam, they tend to target people that are a bit older in the Western world. But here in Nigeria, if you look at the young people, young female, they are targeted in order to become cash mules for cyber criminals. They target older people because they have money in order to defraud them. So the truth of the matter is that anybody can become a victim. If you are careless while browsing on the net or on the social media, you can become a victim.
Now, Sambo, over the years, cybercrime has evolved as perpetrators come up with new ways of defrauding their victims from time to time. As someone who has been in the field, who has investigated a lot of these cases, tell us the new trends cyber criminals employ these days.
Now, the ability of a cyber criminal to defraud a victim is limited by his intellectual capability. Now, if you look at social media, if you look at WhatsApp groups, you find out that now there is a lot of posts, or there are a lot of posts purporting to be from an investment company, that if you deposit this amount of money, so amount of money, triple of or double or triple of your money will be given to you. Now, Nigerian cyber criminals on the international scheme, on the international in the international arena, are known as the biggest players in the field of business email compromise, which targets companies that are into businesses, and then the cyber criminals purport to be their business partner and request that they transfer money. Now, you find out that this trend that has acquired notoriety in the international scene is coming back home. Now they are beginning to target Nigerian companies. We have a lot of cases under investigation in which Nigerian companies have been targeted by these cyber criminals and have been made to transfer a huge amount of money to other people. Another trend is that in the field of cryptocurrency investment, they use it as an avenue to launder proceeds. In the case of the BEC, the business email compromise, if they are able to defraud a victim, the money is sent to a cash mule, and the cash mule is made to buy cryptocurrency, and then the trail of the money disappears. And there are a lot of investment schemes too, in Forex and in this cryptocurrency, especially now that the price of the cryptocurrency has risen appreciably. So a lot of cyber criminals target people with these kind of investment schemes in order to defraud them. So these are some of the schemes that are on the rise. The traditional love scam is still on the rise. It's still on the rise. Why? Because it affords the cyber criminals with opportunity to recruit female victims into cash mules. Once they defraud person A, they send it to the account of the female. From there, they ask her to do X, Y, and Z. And whatever investigative trail ends with this lady. So these are some of the schemes that are on the rise.
Okay, but when they come to you on a personal note, for instance, on the internet, you're talking with someone, let's use them love scam as an example. What kind of stories do they tell them?
First of all, the first is nice picture of a handsome young man or beautiful young lady. That is where it starts. And then they approach them as if they want to be friendly. From friendly, then we have seen instances in which once they begin to make this friendly conversation, they begin to bring in a religious element into it in order to earn the trust. And from there, it proceeds into send money for this, send money for that, or give me your account, I want to send money to X, Y, and Z. And then before you know it, the person is neck deep inside.
As part of the EFCC, especially on the cybercrime section, how often do people report cybercrime cases to the Commission? Now,
people report cybercrime cases to the Commission on a frequent basis. Hardly a day goes by I don't get a walk-in complaint. Even though the Commission, as a matter of its policy, all complaints have to be written and sent through the proper channel. Either you send it to any of the Commission's office or the Commission's social media handles, the official EFCC on Facebook, official EFCC on Instagram, official EFCC on Twitter. But people do come in too to complain on these issues of cybercrime. So because it is on the rise, we get a lot of these complaints.
For people who are under prosecution or who have been, taken to charge to court, what does the law say about them? What is the penalty if you are caught? You're guilty of cybercrime.
The provision of the law in terms of cybercrime is really stiff. First of all, if you look at the Advanced Fraud and Other Fraud-Related Offences Act, it says a minimum of 7 years. If you look at the Cybercrime Act 2015, it equally provides stiff punishment for someone who is engaged in cybercrime. Not only the cybercrime itself, if you procure somebody to commit the offense, you too are a part of it. If you provide a venue for the offense to be committed, you too are part of the crime. If you invite somebody in pursuance of the crime, you too will be charged. So it's really stiff. It doesn't provide room for someone to get away with it, even if one has not actually earned any money from it.
As we round off this segment of the program, Mr. Sambo Abba Usman, what's your advice to Nigerians so they don't keep, falling into the hands of these cyber criminals? What's your advice to Nigerians?
My simplest advice is that people should, on their own, if one has the internet connection, then the first thing that one should do is to acquire knowledge on safety on the internet, first of all. Nobody can train you to such an extent that you can be an expert in personal safety on the net. But if you, on your own, go in the pursuit of that knowledge, the knowledge is all there. EFCC cannot sit you down and tell you the ins and outs of what you need to do or what you don't need to do on the internet. First of all, don't trust whatever you come across on the net. Secondly, verify whatever you come across on the net. Thirdly, on your own, engage in some of self-study on ways you can protect yourself on the net.
Well, you all heard the head cybercrime there, saying that the social perception of getting rich quick, greed, and lack of contentment are some of the reasons for the increase in cybercriminality, and anyone can fall victim. Yes, you heard him right, that if caught and convicted, the penalty is minimum of 7 years imprisonment, even if it was just an attempt to commit such an offense. There is always a punishment for you. So, to be forewarned is to be forearmed. Be vigilant, don't fall victim, and don't aid in the commitment of cybercrimes.
How do you feel when you steal from the public? What makes what does not belong to you your birthright? How do you sleep when the bed you lie on is filled to brim with bugs and lies, and you cover yourself with thorns from the tears of the citizens you defraud? Do you dream you are in heaven, or are you having nightmares chasing you to hell? Does your heart beats or breaks upon the cries of those babies you stole their freedom, and their mothers whom you make widows from your unearned reckless trips abroad? What does your conscience tell you about the pensioners you divert their hard-earned gratuity for your overseas vacation? If integrity is doing the right thing when no one is watching, it is also avoiding the wrong things when no one is watching. So remember, the fight against corruption is a collective resolve of every citizen. Therefore, every no counts. Let's do the right thing always by saying no to corruption.
The speed, convenience, and anonymity of the internet are making cybercrime a fast-growing activity. One recent study found out that 1 in every 5 persons has had personal information stolen or an account compromised because of their online activities. In addition to online identity theft or financial frauds, types of cybercrime can also include activities such as stalking, bullying, hacking, email spoofing, information piracy, forgery, and intellectual property crime. With so many potential threats out there online, how are you supposed to protect yourself, your kids, and your information from cyber criminals? After all, cybercrime can't be stopped completely, but sometimes it can be prevented. It all starts with practicing good online safety habits. Here are some of the things that you can start doing today to protect yourself against computer crime.
Ensure that your security software is current and updated. Having the latest security software goes a long way towards protecting yourself against viruses, malware, and other online threats. You should also lock or log off your computer when you step away. This ensures that no one else will have access to all your information. Go offline when you don't need an internet connection. If your computer is always connected, it increases the chances that hackers and virus scams can invade your computer. Take advantage of security settings on your smartphones, your tablets, and your computers. Use pins or passcodes to protect yourself from someone easily accessing all your information. For social media, websites, and apps, be aware of your privacy settings and change them to your comfort level, so only the people you want to have access to your information can do so. Consider sharing less online. These include information like your birth date and the city where you live on your social media profiles. This can give criminals a complete picture and make it easier for them to steal your identity. Think twice about using public Wi-Fi. Hackers can easily connect to a public Wi-Fi and watch your move, including what passwords and account information you enter while you're connected. To keep your information safe, either don't use public Wi-Fi or avoid entering your private information and using apps that have passwords when you are on a public Wi-Fi. When in doubt, don't click. Cybercriminals can compromise your information through tweets, posts, and online advertising, in addition to emails. If it looks too suspicious, just delete. Beware of anyone who implores you to act immediately on the internet, as this could be an avenue to defraud you. And lastly, always join us every week on this station to get more information on internet-related crimes and how to deal with them.
Well, let's all be guided and protect ourselves from cyber threats and criminals.
Unemployment is not a criteria. Improve somebody from Liberia. Creating bad image for Nigeria. Now Yahoo be your career, mama.
Because say government no employ you. That one no be criteria. Make you come dey do Yahoo as your career. You can't do people for Australia, UK, Liberia, Bulgaria, USA, or anywhere for diaspora. You can't spend the money on top Victoria, Gloria, Funke, Halima, Nkechi, Maria, shopping for them for Victoria, creating bad image for Nigeria. If you don't stop, no issues, no barrier, you go soon see EFCC for your area.
Remember, EFCC will get you anywhere, anytime.
This message is from the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC.
And that's how we wrap up today's episode of The Eagle. You can kindly send your enquiries and suggestions on anything about the EFCC to theeagle@efccnigeria.org. You can also search and follow us on all our social media platforms at Official EFCC. Before I leave you, here are some parting words from Manal Al-Sharif, which says, when you see corruption, when you see injustice, you speak up. You don't just shut up and say, it's none of my business. See something, say something, and sure the EFCC will do something about it. My name is Aisha Muhammad. From all of us here, it's goodbye. God bless Nigeria. And please be kind to one another.